welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. As you guys can tell by the title, today's video is going to be about basic military training for the Air Force during coronavirus. Honestly, it's not that bad. I promise y'all, basic training is not that bad. Like, I thought that it was going to be terrible. I did not want to go. I kept telling people, if I could just go into the Air Force without going to basic training, I would. If I could just skip that, y'all can have that part, I would go. Sign my name on the line, like right now. Unfortunately, everybody has to go through it. So I have everything on my iPad. Topics, okay? All right, so the training for me during COVID was 7.5 weeks. And if you don't know how like the timing works, the first week you get there is called 0 week, and so that's your half week. I got there on August 4th, which I believe was a Tuesday. Yes, August 4th was a Tuesday, so that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is 0 week, and Sunday starts your new week, so that'd be week 1. So that's your half of the 7.5 weeks. So yes, so it's usually 8.5 weeks, but it's the same way. That first week is your half week. How is the food? To me, the food was good. My favorite meal was definitely breakfast. Basically, all your usual breakfast things. They had French toast. The French toast was not that good. Like, it didn't have a lot of sugar or nothing like that. And it wasn't made with a whole lot of love. Good. Some people liked it with peanut butter because I guess that made it like sweeter or something like that, but it wasn't that good to me. And my mama makes some good French toast, and I was definitely missing her French toast. So lunch, they had Taco Tuesdays, they had pizza, they had these real good veggie nuggets. They were like chicken nuggets, but they're not chicken. They're like veggie. They don't have like veggies in them, but they're kind of like, they're like some kind of vegan thing. I don't know what they are, but they were so good. Basically, at the 322nd, we had good food. So I don't know about Disneyland over there, but I was in Alcatraz. If you don't know, Disneyland is basically the newer dorms, and Alcatraz is the older ones, the ones that's been here since the dinosaurs. So but the food was really, really good. But because of COVID, they didn't have a lot of stuff. Like, they didn't have cereal to like the last few days or the last week. They didn't have desserts. They didn't have a salad bar. They had salad, but you couldn't get like a whole bunch of different stuff on it. They just had like lettuce and dressing. But it was still good. When you go to the DFAC, you do not have that much time to eat. It's supposed to be 10 minutes, but honestly, it was like if you sat down at the furthest row, you had until those next 3-ish rows, or was it 4 rows, to get full before they come and start seating your row. And that's when you got to get up. Like, and if you don't get up, like, so basically the way you want to sit, here's a little secret. The way you want to sit is if you sit in that row, sit all the way to the top by the chow runner. That way you have more time to eat because they're filling up the rows. But some MTIs do not want you to do that. They want you to be up and out like everybody else is once they get to your row. So yeah, depending on the MTIs there at the time, you might not want to do that. But that's what I did. That's what a lot of us did. The next thing is quarantine. So basically, in my situation, the person that I was around, that I slept near, she tested positive for COVID. So we all had to go to, well, there was more than one person, but like we had to go to the hotel on base or building, you know, that's what it's called. And we stayed there for 14 days. Crazy. We stayed there for 14 days. Unfortunately, I stayed there for like 16, 17 days. Me and a couple of other people. But basically, you just stay there, you get your phone, and you have to study your BMTSG, which we'll get to that in a second. But you have to study your BMTSG so that when you go back to training, you will be up to speed with everybody. Kinda, as far as your memory work and stuff like that, you should be. I basically missed my first and second week of training. So there's 0 week, and then there's the first week and second week and third week and fourth week and on and on. And I made it through 0 week before they put us into the quarantine. You're supposed to quarantine in your dormitory, where your whole flight is, but since, you know, there were some people with corona and they didn't test positive, like coughing and like hacking and all that stuff, it was asymptomatic. So that's why they got put there, and theirs were 10 days, and the people that were like around them were 14 days. So let's talk about PT. PT is something that nobody really likes to do, but yeah, so basically with me being in quarantine, you're supposed to do like 1x3s, your push-ups, your sit-ups, just practicing things, but when you're in a hotel, you can't run, so you don't really get PT like everybody else does. But when I got back, I really should have did that PT in the hotel room. I kind of did, but I kind of didn't, because PT in the morning kicked my, it was bad. But I always knew that before I came to BMT, I worked out in the morning, so I already knew that working out in the morning was like my thing. Like I enjoyed doing that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just the workouts. They were kind of tough. Now they were kind of tough, but as long as you try your best, like, it is what it is. I did get yelled at once for not, like, I guess, moving quick enough, because my MTI said that I was moving too slow for him that day. But it's just like, he was never even really like paying attention to us at PT, so I don't know why he felt the need to say anything to me. But anyway, so yeah, when it comes to PT, just try your best. On run days where you have to run for like 26 minutes straight, those are, it's supposed to help your run time for your PT test. And I will admit, it did help. Honestly, it did help, because my first PT test was, I ran a 16 something, and like the max was 16:22, I want to say. So I ran I think it was like 16:13. And then on my last PT test, I ran a 13:22. So yeah, your girl didn't even think she could do it, but she did. Yeah. My MTIs always had us on our faces, meaning you were always doing push-ups because something happened, you get in trouble, your flight gets in trouble, somebody gets your whole flight in trouble or whatever. So you have to do push-ups or whatever your MTI like chooses to do as punishment. And so I want to say thank you, because that helped me with my push-ups. Next thing I want to talk about is showers and personal care. So there's not really a whole lot of time for personal care. Showers, it depends on the MTI, it depends on the dorm chief, it depends on like a lot of stuff. Honestly, I feel like we had enough time to shower. We had more than enough time to shower. We had male MTIs, so it's not like they could be in there while we were showering. If we had female MTIs, they'd probably be in there screaming, telling us to get out and hurry up. There was no shaving during the week. I mean, some people did, and they like did it quickly. I'm not about to mess up my legs trying to rush, so they did it on Sundays. Basically, your personal care days were on Sundays when there's no MTIs, and basically the day is ran by the dorm chief. Still a day where you do get to take longer showers, you get to do what you need to do to be ready for the next week. Uniforms, so you get your uniform in third week, or your uniforms in third week. You get this big old green duffel bag, and you put all of your stuff in it. That's when you go to get your uniforms in third week, you get your blues, you get your OCPs, your boots, your low quarters. You get all that stuff in one day. Uniforms, it's an all day thing. It's a process. Phone calls, and for phone calls, it's up to your MTI. It's also up to you, up to your flight, how good you do that week. I know my flight, we really wanted to, impress one of our MTIs to get longer phone calls. So if you do well, your MTI can reward you with phone calls. During COVID, you're supposed to get one phone call a week. Phone calls can be 5 minutes. That's the minimum, up to however long your MTI says. On graduation, we got a 10-minute phone call and a 35-minute, 30 or 45-minute, I don't know, FaceTime. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is Beast Week. And like I said, Beast Week was 4 days. I did not like Beast Week. The only thing I actually liked was Cadam, because I like to shoot. It's fun. And it's just going to the gun range. Beast Week, I'll talk about the obstacle course. The obstacle course I did not really like. I'm not an obstacle course type of female. But Beast Week is supposed to be like a fake deployment. And my parents are ex-military, Air Force, and their deployments were nothing like this. So there's dirt, there's animals, hogs, coyotes, dirt, rocks, sand, just nature. It was fun because you were with your flight and it was like a relaxing time. You're away from your MTIs. Like, there's still MTIs there, but they're only for Beast Week, and they're not even as annoying as your regular MTIs. Obstacle course, you just do little things. A lot of things were cut out because of the pandemic, but other than that, it was okay. And then Cadam is the gun range where you go shoot and you go get to become marksman. I didn't get marksman. I was like 3 points away, but that's okay. I have another chance at getting it. And you learn how to shoot, you learn how to use the gun, you do all that good stuff. So that's the fun part. On to the food at Beast Week. So breakfast and lunch are MREs. MREs are pretty good depending on which one you get. I will say if you get meal number 8, you'll get a chocolate chip cookie. So yes, remember that. When it came to dinner time was delicious. We had real macaroni and cheese, baked, cheesy. We had chicken that was real nice rotisserie, very juicy, savory. It was just so good. This came from the kitchen. It didn't come from the DFAC. This came from your grandmother's kitchen. That's how good it was. And that was the best meals that we had eaten in the past, 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Whew. It was so good. Back to the dorms. There's this thing called RLA, and that is Recruit Living Area. So that's basically where you take care of your wall locker, your laundry, and all that good stuff. That's where you do your rolling and folding, your t-shirts, your socks, you hang up your OCPs, you hang up your blues. You have to make sure that area that you're living in is up to par with the standards of the Air Force / BMT. But honestly, rolling and folding is not that hard if you find techniques how to do it. I'm not gonna lie, there was people in my flight that got their stuff so nice and crispy. And if I could have rolled and folded like that, everybody was good at something, rolling and folding something. I will say that everybody was good at something. So if you ever feel like you can't fold something or roll something, somebody else is good at it. So maybe you're good at, you're good at folding the PT shirts, and you suck at doing socks or rolling your OCP shirts. Maybe somebody else is better at it. So you guys can get together and say, hey, I'll do your PT shirts if you do my OCP shirts. You have to pass your PCs, which is basically that stuff, making sure your area is, one of them is making sure your area is squared away and nice and neat. And yeah, you want to pass that because it's like one of the requirements to pass pass BMT. The next thing I want to talk about is EC. Nobody likes EC, but it's something you have to do. So EC is entry controller, and basically that's when you and someone else guard the door with your weapons, and it's all day, all night, unless you guys go somewhere during the day and everybody has to come. But it's all day and all night. You have procedures you have to do to open the door and all that good stuff. So basically the shifts are 2 hours. I hated them in the beginning because I liked my sleep. Shifts were 2 hours, so you could get them anytime during the night. Anytime during the night, anytime during the day. Most people like it during the night because you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to answer the door to the MTIs. You don't have to worry about them banging on the doors. So that's why most people like night shift. I like night shift as long as I was getting off like when I had enough time to get my 8 hours of sleep, because you want that 8 hours of sleep. You need that 8 hours of sleep at BMT. Sometimes you're not as lucky. You're not as lucky to be put on the schedule for a great time to where you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep, but it's okay. So yeah, EC is not that bad, especially as you go through the weeks. It's not that bad. The next thing I want to talk about is drama. I met some amazing people in BMT. I met people that I would have never thought I would have met before. People come from all over the place, and you meet new people in BMT, whether they got recycled into your flight, whether they came into your flight from day one, all that stuff. Like, I enjoyed the people that I was around. There was a lot of drama in BMT, but every flight goes through it. Boy flights, girl flights, they all go through it. You can get through it. So many personalities, so many ethnicities. Just people come from different walks of life. So yeah, drama is all through BMT. And the last thing I want to talk about is the EOC and studying during BMT. So you get a big old book called your BMT SG, and that book has everything you need to study in it. You will be going to classes, and the classes, they're kind of long. Please stay awake during them. I will say cough drops will be your BFF. I never had a cough drop until I went to BMT. Yeah, so anyway, so you'll have classes that some of the stuff you have to follow along in your BMTSG, but you want to study, honestly, you don't have to be like hardcore, like in it, like that. Because during COVID, we did have a lot of time to study. Some people were just like, oh my god, I'm so tired of studying. But yeah, if you guys get a ton of time to study at Beast Week, I would take advantage of it. We didn't get that much time. BMTSG has everything you need in it to pass your end of course test. I believe you have to pass with a 70 or higher. You have to pass with a 70 or higher. I made an 82 on mine. It's not that hard. It's actually kind of common sense. Some stuff it is a little like, oh, I do not remember that, like, or you have a brain fart or something like that. But honestly, if you just read over it and study, pay attention in class, pay attention to your academic monitor, you'll be fine. Make sure you know your memory work. Make sure you guys know your memory work, because your MTIs will ask you. And like our MTI did, if you did not know something, the whole flight had to rewrite it 10 times, then it would go up to 20, yeah, and so on. Make sure you know that. Thank God I didn't get asked, because honestly, I only knew about 4 or 5 people. So yes, make sure you guys study that, look over it, help other people, because you guys are all in it together. Believe it or not, you have to be a team. Your flight, you are the next flight to enter the great air in Space Force, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys can follow me on my Instagram. It'll be somewhere on the screen. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.